Hello, everybody. Good morning, and it's time for some early morning swoo. We've got what might be a quick one today here. Jarol playing Sabine, our defending champion, taking on Ducks on the Kazuda security complex stock. Let's see. I tell them. Just give him go ahead to get started. Let's take a look at the list briefly. This is Jarol. He's playing Sabine yellow, not ECL, which is pretty interesting. It seems to be that this version is actually doing better than the ECL version for the time being in today's format. I'm not sure why that is. But this yellow deck certainly did get a lot of new stuff from the new set. The A-Wings, Lightmaker. Looks like, interestingly, Jarol's only on one A-Wing, which I kind of expected him to be on more. But Lightmaker is just another big, heavy hitter for the late game. And Dux is running a deck that I guess based on the name is based off of the Team Enigma deck. Kazuda Security Complex. So he's gonna put some big stuff in space, use Kazuda to erase its abilities, and then swing. I think it's pretty much all space units and pilots. No Ogdobogdos. I know some versions of this deck have been on the Ogdobogdos. It looks like they're about ready to get started here. I can explain the top four. Each of these players brought 3 different decks this season, and so they've got to play one each in the round robin phase, and then the top 2 are going to play a trilogy style finals. Jarol got his first one, and Ducks did not quite get there on the first one. So Ducks going to open us up with a fireball. And it looks like Jarol is going to be... He's got a couple options here. He could go Cartel Turncoat plus R2. But, he probably wants to do it as a pilot. But he could also theoretically go R2 on the ground. But I think you have to go at... Yeah, you have to do it as a pilot. Because otherwise the fireball would just eat the Turncoat. Does pick up a Falcon here, which is really nice. Dux picks up... He's running Unmasking the Conspiracy, which is interesting. We can pull that one up on stream. That's another card that never really caught on because of the pretty hefty cost, even though it's only 1 resource. Especially in a deck like this that can run a Spark Rebellion. But actually, like this turn, he has the option to go like Han Solo Pilot plus the Unmasking if he wants. So he's gonna go for the Han Pilot, which kills the Turncoat. That's a pretty solid play here. Looks like he missed the bounty trigger. Bounties are optional, so he doesn't have to collect it here. And yeah, he is going to fire off this Unmasking. Discarding the Surprise Strike instead of the Spark Rebellion. He's going to take away that Falcon. That is pretty rough. Zero does get to play out this Fleet Lieutenant, which is pretty nice. Now, even though that was a pretty solid tempo play for Ducks, Jarol is not out of it yet. And one of the big reasons is that Dux is not going to get to flip Kazuda onto a ready space unit this turn. He'd flip onto the ground, which it might be optimal to do that. He does have this Clown Car Falcon in hand, as it's become known. Which, I mean, flipping Kazuda into that is always nice. But won't be able to really reap the reward until next turn. So Dux is going to commit the security complex here. Jarol has in hand to Bamboozle, which would get rid of this fireball, but it also would give Dux back the Han Solo pilot. So sort of in a bind here. And he is going to play the Bamboozle. Duck's just going to go for the Clown Car Falcon. And Jarol's actually going to get the initial damage lead here. Beginning with the Fleet Lieutenant and then being able to flip Sabine, getting for another 3. And I mean, if I'm Dex, like you could flip on the ground and go for 2 immediately, but you're actually getting like 4 attack worth of it next turn on the Clown Car Falcon. So I do like this move of flipping on the Clown Car. Even though it sucks to not get immediate value. Jarol just going to ping again. Some dispute about ping damage here, it looks like. All right, there we go. We got it. So Jarol getting off to an early damage lead. Plus, he already has the native 5 health advantage from being on the 30 HP base. But Dux has this big Falcon. It's hitting for, what, 7 right now? Oh, the Han Solo would be hitting for 10. He is going to drop the Han Solo. I guess like he could theoretically eat the N1, but I think he probably wants to be going to base here. I see in the chat. Yeah. Just confirming how much damage it is. So, yep, it does go to base. I think we're going to see the card is called Outer Rim Headhunter. It's a card from way back in set 1. Yeah, that's what it is. Oh, it's on attack. I thought it might be when played. It's a bit worse than I thought. but still interesting. So gonna go Fireball here instead, with no ambush, which I don't know how I feel about that. Does it? Because it doesn't actually impact the clock, unless you because right now Ducks wins next or in 2 turns with just Falcon. And the ambush doesn't change that, but it does prevent 3 damage this turn. But I mean, he already went for the play. Picks up an outmaneuver, which might be. Does that save him? With both those space units, I think it actually does save him. Let's see, and this should take a damage. Because Kazuda was not used on it. So Dux picks up the outmaneuver here, which now all he needs to do really is go outmaneuver the ground, attack base with Falcon, attack one of those space units with Fireball, and then claim. But does he have enough actions to do that? Because on Jarol's side, see, Dux has initiative, right? I believe Dux has initiative. So yeah, I mean, outmaneuver has to be the first action. So then Jarol gets in. I think Jarol has it here. Can he even get there this turn with Wing Leader? He might be able to. There's 3 to base. So Dux has to be able to. I think Jarol has it. Because 1 more attack from Jarol and he can claim. And if Dux attacks base now, Jarol's going to end up claiming. So Dux is trying to figure out if there's a way around it, but I just don't think there is. And Dux is going to call it. So Jarol gets game 1. The defending champ up a point. Going into game 2. If we get to see those headhunters in action next game. Let's take a look at sideboards here. This is Dux's list. He's running a favorable delegate. That's a fun one that you can erase the text with on Kaz. It's only 1 attack though, which doesn't quite fit in this matchup. Breaking in as like extra reach might come in. Bamboozle. I could see Bamboozle. Well, we'll take a look at Jarol's list in a second and see how many upgrades are in there. Covert Strength is, I mean, it's a bit risky into a deck that's also playing Bamboozle. So I don't know if we'll see that one. But it's also extra reach, so it might come in. This is Jarol's list. And yeah, Jarol's not running a ton of upgrades. Just 3 R2 pilots, 1 Han pilot, and nothing in the sideboard. So I kind of doubt we'll see Bamboozles. Although we might just to exhaust for tempo. In Jarol's board, he's got the 3rd Bamboozle, which I mean I really like Bamboozle in this matchup, especially for dealing with this pilot leader. So I think we're definitely gonna see that. Definitely gonna see Outer Rim Constable as well for more upgrade removal. Jam Communications is less essential in this matchup, I think. Kira also less so. But we'll see. Let's take a look at the bracket while they're finishing up. Jarol got his first one over Wayun. I believe that was with the Snoke Data Vault. He's playing the Sabine deck, and his last one is, let me take a look at what he sent me. Oh, it's Dedra. Dedra Blue It looks like it's control, but it's not like hard control like you might expect. And then Dux, in his first game, lost with Palpatine, I believe, a close one, to Uncle Rico. And then he's got an Obi-Wan Blue deck left to play. That's Obi-Wan from Legends. So yeah, we definitely see those constables in there for Jarol. So we're gonna see. I think the card is called Trade Federation Sheathapede. Let me pull it up. Trade Federation Shuttle. Is that right? Corporate Defense Shuttle. Wrong card. It's the one that normally can't attack. There we go. Jarol forced to play the... Actually, forced is not the right word. I mean, Constable is actually a pretty good turn 1 play as a 3 attacker. But he's not removing an upgrade with it. But he has the second one in hand, so it's really not that big a deal. We're going to see the Deep Space Skirmisher coming down from Dux. That's another one that people might not know. Is it not Deep Space Skirmisher? Oh, Death Space Skirmisher. That's what it is. And the Millennium Falcon coming in for Jarol. And he's going to push with it. Outmaneuver picked up for Dux. Let's see. Jarol does have the second Outer Rim Constable, which is going to be annoying. And Dux, I mean, this is an open list tournament, so Dux, of course, knows about that. Oh, okay. Okay, so Dux is about to get screwed here, or he's going to flip onto the ground. Or he's going to play Falcon, I suppose. Because if you put Kaz on the defense shuttle, it won't be able to attack. You won't be able to use Kazuda's on attack ability. So yeah, he's gonna unmasking the conspiracy here. Take out the Outer Rim Constable, which means that he can flip Kaz in space, but he would have to play the Falcon to do it. At this point, like, he's probably playing Falcon over Outmaneuver. So yep, he's gonna play Falcon and not screw himself. Jarol's still pinging with that Sabine. I guess he's thinking, I've got the 5 health advantage natively from Chopper Base, so might as well use it. Be a bit more aggressive, even at the cost of actions, which actions really matter a lot. It was actions that won Jarol that last game. security complex can be used here just to protect the Falcon. It's not like the Falcon's even in a ton of danger, but, you know, you're not using the shield for much else in this matchup. So here comes the Sabine onto the ground. Get in for another 3. Falcon gets in for 6. And presumably he's going to allow the defense shuttle to attack. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, Jarol's going to play Forecast here, not wanting to get the red 3 out. Which, I mean, it makes sense. Like, it's vulnerable to this corporate defense shuttle. And actually, the Forecast damage gets him, like, pretty close to lethal here. Thinking about what to keep. Looks like he's going to keep Fleet Lieutenant Bamboozle here. Interesting. That means... So, I mean, it puts Dux in a dilemma because he knows about the Bamboozle. But I think Dux still attacks here, knowing that he has the outmaneuver in hand. Because if... All right, I mean, I guess actually no. Claiming does make more sense because you're actually getting 3 extra damage out of it. Because I wasn't thinking about the Falcon exhaust. I was just thinking about the lost damage from Kaz. But no, yeah, claiming absolutely makes sense here. That's a tip the scale in Dux's hand, I believe. Let's see if we can pull that one up for the stream. Not one that has seen a ton of play, which kind of surprising. It's pretty solid, but I guess in Hero, like, Spark Rebellion's a better option. So it's sort of like extra copies of Spark. And it's going to get laid down as a resource here, which makes sense. So Dux has got to think about the right way to use. Oh, I think the open has to be Falcon here, even more knowing about the Bamboozle because of the corporate defense shuttle. It's got a pretty debilitating ability that needs to be removed, and it's not like most of the ships you're playing in this deck. But Dex is still thinking about it. He might be thinking that he has to outmaneuver here. He might be thinking about whether to target the Falcon or base with this Falcon swing. It looks like he's eyeing the Han pilot. That would be, I mean, that'd be an interesting bait move to go like Han pilot on the deep space skirmisher, clear the Falcon, Jarol bamboozles, and then he gets to outmaneuver the ground. He's not getting into base at all, but he's getting another turn. But what does that really buy him? He's just in the same position next turn. I think Jarol is probably going to get this one here, especially with this Fleet Lieutenant in hand. Especially, I mean, he might play into the outmaneuver. We'll see. It looks like Dux is going to play it safe here. Clear the Falcon. But yeah, Jarol gets in with Fleet Lieutenant. He doesn't even really need the Fleet Lieutenant. But now Dux is forced to outmaneuver. And then Jarol just claims and wins next turn. So there we go. There's the claim from Jarol. And Dux is just going to call it. So Jarol taking it down in 2. That was a fairly quick one. And Jarol moving on to 2-0. Our defending champ. Looking likely for a reappearance in the finals here. This is the bracket. So Jarol 2-0 is going to face off against Uncle Rika, who's 1-1. Dux now going to 0-2, having to face off against the 1-1 Wei Yun. So what are the possible worlds here for finals? So I think Jarol's actually in the finals no matter what. Right? Oh no, not necessarily. Because if Rico wins and Wei Yun wins, then we have 3 people at 2-1. In which case, I think. Well, I mean, it depend on scores, because that's how we do the tiebreakers, like 2-0s versus 2-1s. So that would be interesting if Rico and Wei Yun both win. So if Jarol wins, he's in no matter what, of course, because he'd be 3-0. And then it would come down to Wei Yun versus Dux, and then the tiebreakers versus him and Rico. So yeah, I guess, I mean, nothing is certain for the finals. I don't think there's a world that Dux makes the finals. Well, actually, if he wins and Jarol wins, then we have 1-3-0 and 3-1 and or 1-3, yeah, 1-3-0 and 3-1-2s. So we'll see. We'll see. Nothing is certain. Tune in next week for the last stretch. All right. Thank you for tuning in. And remember to always take the initiative.